What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. While I normally don't report all that much on world events, I think this is something that needs to be discussed, mostly because there's been a lot of controversy. I like using that word in Canada when it comes to funding Ukraine and what's happening in Ukraine. But a huge development coming out now that essentially World War III is about to begin. In fact, I think it's already here. For the longest time, this war has been carrying on between Russia and Ukraine. I've tried my best to stay out of it. I don't agree in throwing money at countries and everything. Everybody knows my stance on Canada funding Ukraine. But what's happened now, what's happened over the past couple of hours, is nothing short of scary. We haven't seen anything like this since the Cold War. And, well, I felt that it's my job to bring this to you, to talk about this, to at least bring light of it for anybody who wasn't aware of what's happening. Ukraine began its attack against certain elements of Russia recently. Now, keep in mind that all of these tweets I'm sharing with you were, at the time of filming this video, tweeted within the last 2 hours. Now, it's reported that Zelensky is in hiding. That is not confirmed yet. It is just speculation, so please take that with a grain of salt. It says here, wait for tomorrow. Russia hints at major retaliation. When asked about Ukraine's strikes on Russia air bases, Putin's top negotiator, Vladimir Medinsky, simply replied, wait for tomorrow. The silence is ominous. The response could reshape the battlefield or the world. Russia is preparing something big. Stay tuned, this is far from over. Now, of course, there's a clip of him saying, again, it's in Russian, so I'm not going to play it. There's no need to. But what's gone from there since then? And again, these are all within the last couple of hours. Breaking, massive explosions rock Moscow, capital's under attack. Multiple very large explosions have been witnessed across Moscow. Plumes of smoke are rising, sirens blazing, panic spreading. Eyewitnesses report it felt like an earthquake. Buildings shook. Alarms went off. People ran. Russian state media is silent, fueling speculation of a major strike or sabotage. It says here the war may have just crossed a new red line. What this means. Is this Ukraine's boldest move yet, or a false flag inside Russia? Again, we're waiting as this is developing. So again, I'm not saying what's true, what's false, what's propaganda, what isn't. I'm simply just reporting to you what is online right now. Again, it's trending. Everybody's asking about it. It says here that Putin may now claim justification for full retaliation. I'm going to get into that in another post that followed up on this one. Moscow hasn't seen this kind of chaos since World War II until now. It says here, expect a swift and merciless response. This could be the moment everything changes fast. I mean, you can see down here the footage of what apparently is going down allegedly in Moscow. Now, again, I cannot confirm. I mean, it looks pretty real to me. But again, on this channel, as I normally don't report on these things, I do have to take it as we see it. Now, this isn't about Ukraine at this point. This is about what happens to the rest of the world, what this shapes to the world. Things are going to get out of hand really fast. And it already has. Breaking, 2 Russian submarines now enter the Black Sea. Caliber missiles locked and loaded. Russian Navy has deployed 2 advanced submarines into the Black Sea, each capable of carrying up to 12 Caliber cruise missiles. Kremlin insiders, this is a pre-positioning for strategic deterrence or something more. Ukrainian ports are now within seconds of strike range. NATO surveillance aircraft are circling nervously overhead. The shadow war just surfaced. Literally, what this means, Russia can now strike deep into Ukrainian territory from undetectable positions. NATO supply routes and staging points are now in the crosshairs. Calibers have already devastated infrastructure. Now they may be used en masse. This isn't a drill. This is battlefield maneuvering before a potential first strike. Underwater platforms now lurk beneath the surface, and the West is watching. The Black Sea is boiling. War may rise from below. Now, again, I'm just reading what these posts are saying. So it says down here, you said potential first strike. Does that, didn't Ukraine do that today? This would be more along the lines of a retaliatory strike. So again, everything's up in the air right now. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm just trying to bring you what's being circulated online. Where this crosses a line and where it makes things very, very scary is the potential threat of nuclear arms. What happens with nuclear arms? We all know that the old saying, there's no bomb that's ever made that's ever going to get dropped, or that's never going to get dropped. We're seeing that here with the threat of nuclear war. The problem is that regardless of how Putin would feel, once you launch one of those missiles, if you were to cause devastation, you'd have other countries that possess those same weapons arguing back and forth. The fallout could be huge. We certainly don't need a third world war, not now. But here's where it comes out. Again, please, this is me just talking about what is circulating online. Now, Jim Ferguson's been covering this all day, so I'm using this account. Again, it's trending right now on X. A lot of people are talking about it. Breaking, President Putin has reportedly ordered Russia's Strategic Missile Command to prepare the RS-26 Orshnik nuclear-capable missiles for deployment. This comes amid soaring tensions with Ukrainian strikes hitting deep into Russian territory. The world edges closer to the unthinkable. Z-Day may not be a drill. This is horrible to think that things are escalating this quickly. This is why I've said for a long time, when Donald Trump said that he was going to try to negotiate the end of the Ukraine war with Vladimir Putin, I thought that was the best thing on earth. Not only does it stop money coming out from Canada or other countries that are just funding a forever war, but tensions at some point are going to mount, and that's what's happened here. That is what is going to happen. The problem when you shake a stick at somebody is that somebody comes back with a bigger stick every time. What I'm worried about is, what is it going to take for this to stop now? Now that a line has been redrawn in the sand, further past the other line that was drawn before it, what does this mean for the rest of the world? What does it mean for Canada? What does it mean for the United States? Most G7 countries, for NATO-driven countries. What does this mean should Putin exercise with extreme prejudice, retaliation, on Ukraine's move to strike them? Now, I'm not standing on either side of the fence to say who's right, who's wrong, who I think is, in the right here, who's winning, who's being attacked. Nobody wins in war. No one. The world needs to figure out a way to make this stop. Plain and simple, full stop. They have to make this stop. It's scary to think that if tensions were to mount beyond, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, so I'm sorry, folks, if I sound like I'm stalling when I'm talking. There's a lot of censorship to worry about. There's a lot of different things to consider here because this is earth-shattering news. Once a line is crossed, point of no return, what kind of future does that pave for the rest of the world? What does that mean for the rest of the world? And of course, should anything happen with this, I will definitely report it to you guys. I'll bring it out on the channel. Again, we normally cover Canadian, sometimes American politics, but this affects the world. This affects everybody. This is no longer a forever war that is about territory and oil. This is about full-blown nuclear attack, or at least the possibility of it. Keep your eyes on the channel. Again, should anything develop, I'll be happy to share that with you. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the comments down below. Do you think this will just fizzle off? Do you think countries like the United States might try to intervene, might try to kind of be a negotiator here? Let me know what you think is going to happen down below. If you think this is all just propaganda, because again, I've heard people saying the same thing, that yeah, there's attacks going on, but some of this can't be believed. Tell me what you think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video's earned your subscription. Make sure you hit that button and turn on your bell for all notifications. So again, if anything drops, or any of our stories that do drop here on the channel. You never miss a beat. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our weekly live streaming show where I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we normally talk about everything that happened this week in North American politics and everything we know that's coming up in the week ahead, as well as back and forth within the greatest YouTube community on the platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys each and every week and hearing what you have to say outside of making these videos. I more importantly look forward to hearing what you have to say this Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this video informative. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.